Hello there. Welcome to 1111 Oracle, and welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. So today, this is the second video in my series of developing your spiritual psychic abilities. And today we're going to talk about all about protection. I thought it was important before we dig too deep in developing our abilities that we do learn how to put down some simple practices in order to protect ourselves from any unwanted energy coming through. As you naturally open up more and more to your intuitive gifts, you're also opening yourself up to lower energy forms that are not necessarily malevolent, but unless you're a medium and you want to speak with the dead, you might get some energy that is pretty unwelcome. Okay, so it's all about, just like with people who are toxic or you just can't spend time with for whatever reason, it's all about setting down your boundaries. You have to do it with spirit as well. Okay. So, before we get too into the reading, I just want to give a special shout out to another reader who also has her own channel. I've been following her videos for a while. She's really good, and she deserves a lot more attention than she's getting. She's very talented. She reads information through drinking tea, which I think is super fascinating, certainly because it's not something I've ever seen or experienced myself. So I'm just always amazed when I see people doing things that I can't personally do, because I'm like, wow, how do you do that? Anyhow, her channel is called Mystic Tea Tarot. So she is Mystic Tea Tarot. There's a link in the description, and you can check out her videos. She's really, really good. Okay, just before we move on I just want to quickly make mention of a promotion that I'm doing. If you email me a screenshot of your subscription to my channel, you can get 50% off any reading or service. Details in the description. If that is too pricey for you, but you still want to ask for a reading, I do email readings for $1 a question. So if you want more information about that, email me as well, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I want to also thank you so much for coming to see my video, for supporting my channel. It is very appreciated, and I'm very grateful, very touched, and I'd like to get to know you guys a little bit more, see who my viewers are, so feel free to leave me a comment below, and I look forward to connecting with you. If you have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see, pick a card readings, etc., by all means, I would love to hear them. So let me know. Either email me or comment down below. Okay, let's get into your reading all about psychic protection. So before we talk about psychic protection and what it is, I want to talk about, what it's not necessarily. Okay, it doesn't have to be a specific type of ritual. Does that make sense? There are as many people on the planet as there are, as many religions, as many practices. There are different interpretations of spirit. That's the way I look at it. Spirit looks at it as, well, it's all the same to me, but people interpret spirit in all of its wholeness, right? In all of its many colors. So someone might say, in order to protect yourself and your home, you should smudge your home, right? Get a sage stick and burn the sage, and then, just pass through each room with smoke, and over your body with the smoke. And that's something that I use every now and then. But that's not necessarily the only thing that you can do. Of course, If you are Christian and you're religious and you feel comfort in wearing a cross or having a cross in your home, then continue doing that, because that is your very beautiful connection to spirit through your faith. Okay, whether you are, maybe you are Jewish, and then you might feel comfort in reading the Torah, or just, being around your a certain community of people who can offer you spiritual guidance. Or maybe you're Muslim, or maybe you're Buddhist, or maybe you're, I don't know, Rastafarian. I really don't know what you are, but it doesn't really matter to me so much. Or maybe you just are more agnostic, right? It doesn't matter. As long as you find something that means something to you, that you connect with deeply, all right, that speaks to your soul. And if you find a type of ritual or practice, for example, I even heard some people, if this resonates with you, by all means, I'm passing the info along, who say, oh, you should plant roses in front of your home because that offers protection. I have actually rose incense burning. So, it's more symbolic for me more than anything. When I think of protection, it's all about the intention for me. Because I think of it this way too. What if you didn't have any of these, incense sticks or roses or crystals around you, right? Crystals, amethyst. This is a crystal that is supposed to heighten your psychic abilities, protect you during your dreams and sleep, calm your anxiety, and there you have it. Now, this does a lot, but you know what? This crystal might work very differently for me than it does for you. These are just generic also qualities that we, the humans, attribute to our environment. Okay? But, maybe for Sally this works in a certain way. Maybe for, I don't know, maybe for Lillian this works in a different way. And maybe for Juan Carlos this works in a very different way. Like, we don't know. And it's not for us to judge how something works for someone or doesn't work for someone else. It's all about your personal relationship with spirit and how that develops in a healthy way for you and for others around you. Does it bring you happiness? Does it bring you love? Does it bring you inner fulfillment and peace? Yes? Then great. No? Then maybe think about something else that works better. It's all about exploring, right? And it's all about connecting with something that resonates with you. So, we're not going to talk about rituals. I'm just going to say explore different kinds of rituals and see what you like best. There's no right or wrong ritual. Okay. Now, what is psychic protection? What are we doing with psychic protection? What am I going to be really talking to you about today? So I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things. If you saw my video on clairvoyance, I did mention a mantra in that video that I will bring to the table again today with you guys. We're going to do a little bit of a protection meditation just before I get into the choices that I have for you near the end of the video, where you can ask anything that you want surrounding the idea or the theme of protection, and we'll see what the universe has to say. Okay? So, when I talk about psychic protection, I want you to consider the power of your imagination. The idea of visualizing or using your imagination to understand and communicate with your guides, for instance, or a higher power is really, 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 really powerful. I'll give you an example. Now, imagination is very linked to intuition before I give you this example. Of course, it's important to develop both a logical approach to life as well as an intuitive approach, and to find a balance in between. It's always good to find balance and grounding. So if you're getting a lot of information and it's a little bit maybe too out there in the sense that it's all maybe it's too conspiracy like, and it's just a lot of other people don't, and it doesn't matter if other people don't resonate with it or not, but you know what I mean? If your idea might be a lit almost more on the, without being rude, I'm not talking about you in particular, but maybe you know what I mean, you've come across people like this. It's almost like you can feel it in their tone, you can feel it in the way they carry themselves. There's almost like a delusional aspect to what they're bringing up, and you want to always keep that healthy element of doubt and questioning, and taking everything with a grain of salt, whether you're listening to my videos or someone else's videos. All right, this is, and also questioning your own kind of theologies, philosophies. It's important for your own spiritual growth in order to evolve, right? But anyway, back to imagination. You always want to see if there's any, how does this idea stack up to how you feel about it? Does it feel true? Does it feel right? Okay, or does it feel off? You got to really weigh out that impression or the intuition that you use, that you've gathered with your imagination. You want to stock that up against your logical reasoning as well. You want to find some kind of a balance. Now, this takes time. We're not going to go into that in this video. That'll be for a future video with this series of how to tell, if the information is accurate or not. It takes practice. So we're going to talk more about how imagination now can help you for protection. And so here's my example. When I was a child, I was very afraid to go to sleep at night. I did not like going to sleep at night. I also am a night owl in general. I think I always have been, always will be. I don't know, maybe that will change, but so far it doesn't look like it's changing. And that being said, maybe I'm a night owl for a reason. Maybe I'm a night owl because when I sort of learned that as a child, that, sometimes I don't like going to sleep, because if I do, all kinds of things might happen. And I, for better or for worse, I've experienced all sorts of positive and negative psychic experiences. And so when I was a little girl and I was afraid and I would feel that there was something there, I would imagine 4 angels. Now, I'm giving you an example of, I'm giving you my memory here of what I would do as a kid. You can imagine something else. You can imagine a lion sitting at the end of your bed, or a dragon, or it doesn't really matter as long as you feel confident with that image, okay? And I do feel that a lot of the images that come to us through imagination, when we are very in tune with our intuition and the sense and the feeling seems right as it's coming through, it feels correct. You just have a knowing that it just feels right. I do believe that those images are very much in line with clairvoyance, and they also feed our they feed our intuition, but what I was going to say is sometimes those images, we think that we created them, but they were, spirit just kind of dropped them in our heads, if you will. So I would imagine maybe it wasn't just an imagination. I don't know if this is the way that spirit decided to present itself to me only in my head so that I would understand Because maybe if I imagined, like, maybe if Spirit said, well, we're actually not in a physical form, or the bodies that you think we are, we're actually just the light, that might have been more confusing to me as a kid. So again, we'll talk about, there's so much coming through, but we'll talk about that in another video as well. But I wanted to say, so I would imagine 4 angels sitting at each post of my bed, and I would just imagine them protecting me. And just that thought would help me to calm down and to relax. Okay? So, this is what I will ask you to do before you get too into your abilities and developing them. Whether you prefer prayer or you prefer meditation, it doesn't matter what form of spiritual devotion, if you will, you resonate more with, as long as it brings you closer to your own higher self, if you will, and inner divinity as well, okay? So in your prayer and your meditation, you can even do something when you're walking. And if you don't have time for any of those things, it doesn't matter either. You can be doing the dishes, or you can be walking around, or you can just take 5 minutes out of studying or whatever it is, and take a moment just to think about it. You can write down in a journal as well some of your thoughts and your requests and your intentions from Spirit. Keeping that communication open is key. Even talking to yourself out loud, if you have, if you're in a quiet space and you just want to talk to Spirit out loud, to your spirit guides, to a higher power, go for it. All right. However you express yourself naturally, and however you connect with Spirit naturally, it doesn't matter in what form you do it, as long as it's something that makes sense to you. Now, when you're talking to Spirit, whether literally out loud or in your mind or in prayer or through meditation, okay, or dance or writing or whatever, all right, be very clear with what you would like. You can even tell Spirit, you can open up emotionally even and say, I'm a little afraid, and I would really like to ask you for protection. Please surround me with, this is just an example. It can be turquoise, green, neon, I don't care, but I'm just going to say white just to keep it a little generic here. Please surround me with a white protective light, and, help me to feel safe. Keep the negative entities or ghosts away. Oh, I don't know if you felt that, but I felt that. I really did feel that, whoever is watching this video right now, I'm also sending, I do Reiki, which is a sort of energy healing that was developed in Japan. So the only thing, I guess, Japanese about it really is that there's certain symbols that are Japanese, but energy healing has always existed. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm like lost in my thoughts here. I am sending every one of you guys protection. So there's a symbol called Raku in Reiki, and I'm just sending everyone a Raku symbol around them to protect them from harm and anything that would want to come in with a selfish intent or reason into your personal space, including, I'm setting that out, attention as well, to protect you from any living person, being who does not want your best interest. All right, setting up the parameters. We are protected. We are protected. So how do you continue this protective practice? When you go to bed, or when you're in prayer, or when you're in meditation, you can say, I would like, speak to Spirit in whatever way that makes sense to you. Ask for, I'm going to use generically, a white light. Could be anything else. It could be even you imagining that there are big trees around you and the trees protect you. See, it doesn't really matter what images you use as long as they make sense to you in your imagination. All right, if you're more of a words person, you could write things down. Like I said, speak them out loud. When you go to bed, okay? I know this is going to sound maybe a little silly. It goes into a ritual sort of practice, but something that I know when I was living by myself, I would always have a nightlight, and that would help make me feel more soothed and relaxed. So I feel that this is important information for some of you. So if some of you want to look up maybe a nightlight with an angel on it or something like that, where, you know, some maybe a spiritual or religious symbol, that might help actually to make you feel more protected and relaxed. And whatever positive intention you put into your rituals, your symbols, the clothing that you wear, the colors, if you think of a certain color of a bed sheet as a protection, as symbolic for protection, do that. So really, this video is all about go towards whatever resonates with you as far as that protection is concerned. Now, but back to the imagination, because this is really, really important. And it's really a crying shame to me that we sort of whack imagination out of kids a lot of times, especially when, you know, kids go to school and there's a very strict, rigid curriculum, and now it's all about focusing, you know, on school and getting into the right colleges and this and that. We forget the importance of imagination. We forget that element of magic in our lives. So, what can you imagine? Not just before you go to bed, but in your waking life. I encourage you to actively imagine whatever your spirit guides or this higher power might, you know, look like to you. I want you to imagine that they are walking next to you, or I don't know, flying next to you, or whatever it is, right? Surrounding you with their light, okay? I want you to imagine this in your waking life and before you go to sleep. Whenever you forget, just actively think about, you know, your spirit guides just standing, or a higher power just standing present around you. I'm a little bit of a, you know, creative, artistic soul, so I like to think of all kinds of different magical creatures around me, like elves and fairies and dragons and, you know, angels, and I just, you know, I have fun with my imagination. I've always had a lot of fun with my imagination, so it's important to have fun as well. You know, that's the other thing. Fun is an important one when thinking about protection, because it puts you in a higher vibration, and when you're resonating at a higher vibration, you're also going to attract more positivity towards you, and you're going to repel negativity. Putting yourself in a higher vibration acts as a natural repellent against that which would harm you. I'll give you another example as far as that's concerned. The other example is that sometimes I would feel, you know, sort of an odd presence around me, and it would make me nervous. And so I would counteract this by watching something that would make me laugh and getting into a silly mood, where I can basically just laugh back in whatever the face of the presence or whatever that was kind of bogging me down. You know, kind of like, like, who are you? You know, like, please, you're a bore to me, kind of thing. Like, get out of here, you know? And I would imagine just like insulting whatever that thing was, or just like putting it down through a joke, or kind of like belittling it in like a, kind of like, are you serious? Is that all you got? Okay, please, can we move on already? Because, buddy, you're not very interesting. All right, good. take a hike kind of thing. And so putting yourself in sort of that more lighthearted, goofy, high vibrational mood where you're laughing and you're having a good time is not only going to make you feel good, but it's also going to help you rise above your fears. Okay. Oh, that's a really important one. Laughter, personally, watching funny things, putting yourself in a good mood. Laughter is so important. Okay, I'll give you an example with that a little bit. So when I was a kid, so I had a really crazy imagination. When I was a kid, I imagined this sort of like negative entity hanging around me, and perhaps there really was something around me, right? I'm not saying there was or there wasn't, but like I said, a lot of times your imagination is linked to your intuition. I think when I was growing up, I just didn't realize how connected they were, and I just thought I had a big imagination until later other psychics and other experiences confirmed that maybe it's not just me and my artsy fartsy self. So anyway, there was this entity. It's really, really kind of a negative, like heavy sort of presence. And in my head, I remember being like, 8, 9 years old. And I remember being like, are you seriously going to act like that in public? Like, dude, I've got things to do. Like, are you just going to be like a heavyweight here? Because you're kind of looking a little pathetic today, And I would say these things in my head. I don't know what language I used at 8 or 9. I'm sure I didn't speak exactly like that. But I just had this way of finding out how to self-soothe. For me, it was a little bit about survival with self-soothing, because although I have a lot of spiritually inclined people around me, my family, I kind of take it to another level a lot of times. And so I can share. I can certainly share, but a lot of times if I talk about like having an out-of-body experience or whatever, it's sort of met with, oh, okay, that's interesting, right? And so I've learned at a very young age, for better or for worse, just to not share, just to keep it in. And sharing this YouTube video with you guys and doing readings, this is all very brand new for me. Up until this point, I have been pretty private about my psychic inclinations. And so I didn't really have anyone to talk to when it came to the, things that went bump in the night. I was sort of on my own to fend for myself when it came to that. I'll give you a funny example, and this is what I mean about putting you in a higher vibrational state, okay? So I had to figure out, so a lot of things that I'm sharing with you guys, sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied, there's like so much stuff that I want to say. And it's kind of like bottleneck. I have so much stuff that it just kind of gets stuck at the neck, and it's like, which one, which piece of information now? This one, that one. So what was I even saying? Oh my goodness. I was talking about the story, the example, which was higher vibration. Yes. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Found the memory. All right. So I remember going to sleep one time. Oh, I was just getting in bed. It takes me a while to fall asleep. And I remember glancing over, I was in high school, I think. And I remember glancing over at the hallway, and it looked like there was like a 2-dimensional paper cutout doll just standing in the hallway. Now, I'm a pretty, despite the fact that I enjoy reading cards and channeling, I always doubt, you know. I'm also a fairly analytical person. So there's always that, you know, moon in Virgo. So if any of you know anything about astrology, you know, super analytical and more practical, pragmatic, right? Virgo, inner Virgo energy. And so I don't know if I saw something. I think I did, but, you know, I can't verify that for sure. So, but what I did is I remember feeling like totally freaked out. I thought, are my eyes playing tricks on me? What am I seeing? This is weird. And then I also thought too, like, why am I seeing a paper cutout? Like, that's really strange. Wouldn't I see more of like a three-dimensional figure? But so I think that threw me off as well, and that's why I doubted it. Like, I don't know, like two-dimensional. Why would there be like a two-dimensional? Why would I have a presence come to me like as a two-dimensional cutout? Sort of like a, you know, like one of those dolls where you put the different clothes on them. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but those like cutout dolls kind of look like that. It was just standing there in the hallway, and that was very unnerving. And I remember feeling so overwhelmed with panic. And I don't know if this is my Aries side, because I'm a sun in Aries, just like, all right, F this. I didn't say that, but you know, I'm saying it now. Sorry. I got up and out of my bed, and I was like, okay, this ghost thinks that it's going to put me down and has something else coming. I remember just saying the only way to get rid of this feeling is to really like face your fears, right? So I got up with my Aries spirit, and I was just like, I'm just going to dance in my room in the dark. And I did that on purposely. I'm sorry. I did that on purpose. I did that purposely. I wanted to, I know it sounds kind of cuckoo, but I wanted to dance in the dark and not turn the light on, because I was also afraid of the dark. So my logic was, let me just face this dark, face this fear. There's something in the hallway that I saw. I don't know what it was, but I'm not going to let it get to me and get me down. And you know, the more you get into your fear, the worse it sort of gets, right? You're adding fuel to the fire. So I wanted to totally change my mood around, and I just got up, started dancing and laughing, and I tell you, asking for protection as well. I did all that, and then I went to bed, and I was laughing at how ridiculous I was, and somehow that worked. And that worked, and I didn't see anything after that. I didn't want to. I also asked not to see anything, because it's not something that, you know, seeing ghosts is not something that I necessarily want to develop. And it's maybe something that I will develop later on in my life when I feel like I'm emotionally ready to handle that kind of thing. But right now, no. And that's where you have to draw boundaries. You know, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be ready for everything. You don't have to eat everything at the buffet, right? You know what I mean? Okay, so we talk about protection using your imagination. First, we talked about, what did we say? Use any rituals that you feel drawn to. Use any symbols or jewelry pieces, etc. in your home that you feel, you know, when you put positive intention into it, will help give you that protection that you need. I do believe that things absorb energy, right? This mug is very much surrounded, if you will, by my energy. Even the water, you know, the things that you possess, the things that are around you, end up taking on your energy as well. So if you put a certain energy or certain positive intent or certain positive thought into something, then you are influencing whatever that is to grant you the effect that you would like it to grant you. That makes sense? I hope it makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if it doesn't, and I'd be happy to discuss or go back and forth with you. Of course, take everything I say with a grain of salt. So there's that. Okay, with the rituals. The second thing that I mentioned was imagination. Imagination being a very, very, very powerful tool. I cannot stress this enough when self-soothing, when asking for protection from your guides, from higher power. It helps to, basically when you're imagining something, you're putting more energy into that thought, right? You're putting more intention, more energy, and the more energy and intention you put into something, like a boomerang, it will bring you, what you put into it right back. Kind of goes, if you will, similar to the laws of karma, right? Whatever you put out comes back. So if you put out a certain image or positive intent of protection in your imagination, you will get that back. Whether you do that in prayer, in meditation, in writing, in dancing, in laughing. And now into laughing. All right, another way to protect yourself is to get yourself in a high vibration. Okay, watch things that make you laugh. 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 Call people up, talk to them. If you're living by yourself, you can consider having a nightlight if that makes you feel more comfortable. Other than that, it's really just about, that's why this is where objects are actually super helpful, because they can serve as reminders of protection, like this incense, which is, rose incense, makes me feel protected because I put that positive intention into the incense stick. And how does this all work at the end of the day? At the end of the day, is it, how do you know if it's not hogwash? I guess there's no way of really telling. But the only thing that I will say is, look, if you feel calmer afterwards and you feel right, you feel good, you feel like there's something, I would say then really connect with your psychic abilities and your intuition. You feel, or you just know that it's working and that you're guided and you're protected, then I would say it's working. And to trust yourself and to trust that you innately and intuitively know what to do. So those are some of the ways in which you can protect yourself. Keeping an active communication with your spirit guides or a higher power is probably the most important thing that you can do. And then just find a way that works for you. Okay, depending on how you communicate with your spirit guides or higher power, of course, you can be, you can think in pictures or words, or you can, be more of a physical person, and then you like to do things, right? We talk about rituals again. Find your way that makes sense to you when you communicate with spirit. And imagination. I don't know what more to say to elaborate on that. I can't stress that enough. Imagination is so important. It's something that is unfortunately overlooked and thought of as silly in a lot of cases. But that idea is silly to me, because everything here requires imagination to create. Even down to mundane things, someone needed to conceptualize this in their mind before they created it, or make a plan for it or something, right? So everything requires imagination. So if we can create physical objects with our imagination, then, my friend, you can create a beautiful feeling of protection and safety around you as well. Okay? All right. Before we get into the choices, I just want to do a protective meditation with you right now. If you saw the clairvoyance video, this is pretty much the same thing as that. So if you know what to do and you don't feel like doing this meditation again, then you can simply go on to the choices. All right? All right, so for the meditation, okay, let's all just get into a comfortable position, seated, lying down, closed eyes, open eyes, doesn't matter as long as you're comfortable, all right? And we're gonna take three deep breaths, all right? When you exhale, so we're gonna maybe inhale for like a count of 5 and exhale for a count of 7. It's important to have the exhale longer than the inhale in order to really help your body relax. You would have a bigger, or I don't know, longer or bigger or more powerful, I don't know, inhale if you were getting ready for like a run or something, right? Then you go, and then you go, right? That kind of thing. Whereas we don't want to do that right now. We want to do the opposite. We want to breathe in and then really let it out so we can relax our muscles and our bodies completely. Okay, so we're going to do that 3 times. So breathing in deeply and exhale. You can breathe out of your nose or your mouth. Breathing in deeply to ground. Imagine roots from your feet going deep into the ground, anchoring you, connecting you to other trees, making you feel safe, a part of a community. Exhale. Exhale out your troubles, your worries, your concerns, your fears into the ground. Let the ground use that as fertilizer to recycle it. And then when you inhale, I want you to bring up the healing energy of the earth that it brings back to you, to your body, to your soul, to your mind, to your spirit, to your heart. All right, breathing in deeply. And exhale. And let go of the last little remnants of any sort of negative energy or stuck energy. Let it go. Okay, now I want you to maybe do something a little different from the other video. Place your hands on your heart space. It doesn't have to be directly on your heart. It could be in the middle of your chest, but place your hands on your, I'm going to say your heart space, okay? Palm on your chest, right? Palm down, I guess. And I just want you to feel that. I just want you to feel the warmth of your palms. I just want you to feel the motherly, compassionate energy coming through from spirit down into your crown chakra, down to meeting you at your heart. Just want you to bask in that warm, comforting, loving energy. Really feel that through your hands. Really focus on that energy. Love. Focusing on love. I know it sounds like a total cliche and I apologize for that, but focusing on this sort of loving feeling will put you in a higher vibration, right? And that again counteracts any feelings of fear and anxiety in the face of, you know, some of these lower vibrations. So we're bringing our energy high. We're going high, everybody. We're going to feel good. The love that is coming from the sky. Yay, I rhymed. Just feel that for a bit. And now when you're ready, you can just place your palms down comfortably, or, you know, just you can move your hands away from your chest. And I want you to, it's going to sound strange, but I want you to bring up the fire from under your feet. All right, we need a little bit of fire. We need a little bit of anger in a healthy way to create healthy boundaries. All right, anger in its healthy form is all about creating just boundaries and saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't, you know, not necessarily in an aggressive way, even just, you know, putting down your limits. Okay. Self-respect. So I want you to imagine fire coming up from your feet. And this is a protective fire. This is a fierce fire to keep the lower vibrations away and at bay. Haha, rhymed again. All right. And imagine that fire extending out, sort of like a spiritual fire, and surround your energy, your personal energy, and in your home, and protecting all of your loved ones in your home. You can imagine extending to all of your loved ones in general, and friends and family. Just imagine, especially in your space, this beautiful, magical, spiritual fire just encompassing the perimeter of your home. Okay. If you prefer, you can imagine something else, whatever works for you. Sometimes I imagine like an imaginary frequency surrounding my home that if negative entities come near it, they get like an electric shock and then they're propelled and pushed backwards because their frequency is too dense. Whereas if a higher vibrational being or loved one, someone coming in with positive intentions towards me comes in, they're able to pass through without any issues because they're working at a higher vibration, a place of love, a place of well-meaning and positive intentions. So I imagine this, again, the more energy and the more, intention you put into this image, the stronger it becomes for you, right? So just imagine that barrier around you, around your personal energy, around your loved ones, around your space, whether that's a fire or that's sort of some kind of an electric charge like me, or whatever makes sense to you. Okay? And now I want you to repeat after me, if you don't mind. I may have a strong light, but I am not the light. I am not the light. Here is the light. Please go to the light. I cannot help you. Go to the light. I cannot help you. And so again, I may have a strong light, but I am not the light. Go to the light. I cannot help you. And then follow that by saying, only higher dimensional beings or beings that want my highest potential, my highest good, and want my, are coming at me with feelings of love and positive intentions, are welcome in my space. If you do not want my highest good, you're not coming towards me with love, you are only coming towards me with selfish intent, or you have no other purpose than you're just curious, but you're making me uncomfortable because I don't want you around, that kind of thing, then you are not welcome here. And be very firm when you say that. That's why I initially mentioned the fire. Be very firm when you say you are not welcome here. Put on your best authoritative tone. All right? You can even raise your voice a little bit if it helps you to feel grounded and solid. Now, I didn't mention the other thing. Before I mention it, sorry, I'm all over the place. We're going to take one more deep breath in and exhale out. Now we're going to ask gently our spirit guides and a higher power for protection and love, and we give them love and compassion back. All right. So I feel really good. I don't know. I hope you guys feel good. I hope you feel lighter. I hope you feel more, I want to say even cradled, cradled by spirit. I hope that you feel cradled by spirit. It's a really nice feeling. And I'm using my imagination to imagine each one of your spirit guides cradling and protecting you, and to imagine, the higher power Also, creating a safe space, yes, for you to be in. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What else did I want to say about that? Yes, the other thing I forgot to mention, nature, grounding. Guys, get lots of earthy elements in your homes. Crystals, they certainly encourage an element of grounding. Of course, it depends on the crystal. Get plants, get certain, maybe rocks, get earthy things in your home just to ground your energy. Because I'm guessing that if a lot of you are tuning in because you're interested in developing your psychic abilities, then a lot of you have a very high frequency already. And in order to balance out your high frequency, and in order not to get you, to be too in your head, that's where you get into on the negative end of having a high vibration. You might suffer from, having too much anxiety or that kind of thing. So you want to get your energy down and grounded into the earth. The earth is a great way to help you feel protected, right? There's a very solid energy in the energy. I hate being redundant. There's a very solid energy in plants, in trees, very grounding, very calming, very peaceful. I personally always feel protected when I'm outside among trees. I don't know why, I just do. So imagine yourself communicating to the trees around you as well, to the plants in your environment, and asking them for protection. I know that sounds kind of wacky. It could possibly sound quite wacky, but, you would be surprised at asking protection from trees and plants. How comforting that can be for you. Okay, plants can also do certain things. They can release certain scents that throw a certain predator off. Like if they are feeling like they're going to be attacked by an animal, they may throw off a certain scent into the air that repels that animal away, or maybe that attracts insects. A certain insect to eat another insect. So plants are sentient beings that have their own intelligence. So asking plants for protection in a spiritual sense is actually more helpful than you think it is. Don't ask me exactly how and how it works and all that. I'm not really sure, and I'm still learning the hows myself. A lot of times I just don't know how things work, but I go with the flow, and if it resonates with me, then I stick to it. If anything that I mentioned today doesn't resonate with you, then by all means don't use it. Just take what speaks to you. All right, let's go into, we're going to do a quick bonus reading here. We have 3 choices, so I guess I'll just hold them up to the camera. We have amethyst. That's a little amethyst there. Okay. That's 1. We have rose quartz. That's 2. And then we have, aventurine. There we go. That is 3. Okay, so let's see. Number 1, I want you to ask any question that you want in regards to protection, and we'll see what the answer is for you. Okay, just I'm going to shuffle the cards here. I'm going to pull out just 1 card for you. Okay. Intimacy. I'm gonna just play this in the background. Play what in the background? All right, I don't know. Sometimes my words don't match my thoughts, and the wrong word comes out. I'm sorry. Put this in the background. Okay. So what I'm feeling is that there's a few things that are coming up in this reading right now. Oof. Okay. Let's break it down. Some of you are not feeling safe in your homes. Some of the people, physical, living people around you are going through some kind of stress that is having a negative impact and a toll on you. Whether you feel that, you are being abused or not, there's some negativity going on in your household where you don't feel like you can connect with others. This is actually making you feel kind of anxious and putting you in a lower vibration where you might unfortunately be attracting some lower vibrational beings simply because you're very high vibrational. You understand? You're kind of bringing yourself down to their level, and now they're saying, oh, hey, we have sort of this easier access. Okay, so very, very, very important for you is to see that you can literally draw boundaries between some of what's being said or being done towards you in your home. Okay, now if some of that doesn't resonate, or if it doesn't all resonate, then then I apologize. This is just what I'm channeling through, and I could be wrong. Of course, always take your intuition first over anybody else's. But this is what I am getting here. And so if you can find space away from whoever is toxic, if you can physically, if you have the ability to physically move locations, even temporarily, then you might consider that. That might not be the best option, but I'm seeing more so the case of you just needing to remove yourself and just kind of be to yourself for a time while, this other person or these other people just figure it out. Okay. And then, if you enact the techniques that I mentioned with imagination and grounding, and all of that, you are certainly going to be feeling more calm and more protected. And I'm sending you extra protective energy here. Okay. I'm just doing a raku, Japanese symbol for protection, around you. Ooh. And I'm just, giving you extra protection. I'm asking for your spirit guides and a higher power to help calm down any of the sort of anxious environments that you may be in. I'm asking for spirit to help protect you from negativity and from harm, to keep you in a safe space, and to keep the negative entities at bay. So that is just my protective intention for you. I imagine that energy surrounding you and protecting you. I imagine you getting to a safe place. I imagine things coming, working in your favor more harmoniously. And I imagine everything being okay in the end, as it always is. All right. So I want you to take a lot of deep breaths, take naps if you need them, spend time in nature, watch your favorite show. I'm seeing just be cozy, just be comfortable, right? Be in your element, okay? Whatever you need to do to get into your element and feel cozy and warm, and, eat your favorite foods, or dress up, even if it's COVID and you're inside, like just dress up if you feel that that's how you're going to, feel good about yourself, or wear your favorite jeans or your favorite shirt or whatever it is. And surround yourself with beautiful things. Surround yourself with things that make you happy, that make you feel good, that make you feel warm, that make you feel welcomed. And things will eventually turn around for you. I see things really, really calming down in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So starting to calm down in a week, and then really calming down in the next 2 weeks. So, things, I feel like you've really gotten to the worst part of it, and things are going to gradually come down to ground zero. All right. I almost feel it very strongly for you. Try to keep to yourself in that sense. Okay. In the sense of focus on you, take care of you, do things that you love, protect your energy, use the techniques that I showed you. You're going to be fine. Everything's going to kind of cool down in 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, and as long as you use those techniques that I mentioned, even if you're a little bit emotionally upset, as long as you put a lot of positive intention into whatever it is, then I know that you will be fine. All right. I wish you a peaceful rest of the day or evening. I send you lots of extra protection and love, and I look forward to feeling your presence in the next video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, number 2 with rose quartz. All right, so I'm going to shuffle the cards here, and I'm just going to pull out one. And sorry, let's do that again, because I really want you to focus on your question, although I did get an interesting card, so I hesitate. But, you know, think of your question in regards to protection, and let's, okay, this one. Oh, this one. Well, no, it's too many. Okay, we're gonna stick with this one. I just want one for now. Synergy. Oh, wow. I don't know if you feel that, but I feel a really powerful presence. One of your ancestors coming through with this amazing sense of humor and amazingly calm energy, just grounded person, someone who in their waking life was very, very grounded. Now, I don't know if you know this person or not. You may have heard of this person, but never met this person. This person is one of your spirit guides, number 2. So this person, this ancestor, is very much with you, very much protecting you and reminding you that your prayers and your intentions and your meditations are working. You are protected. You are fine. They're saying almost like you're getting too much in your head about, you know, not being safe, because all of this is sort of new to you. They are saying you are starting a very powerful and exciting spiritual journey. A very powerful, exciting spiritual journey. Sorry, I had to repeat that twice, just so that it really sits in. Okay, that it really resonates with you. They are really, really excited for you, this ancestor, this spirit guide, and they're saying not to worry, just to find time to, you know, put intention into protection. But they're also saying that whether you do that actively every day or if you forget, it doesn't matter. They will always come to your rescue, is what they're saying. That's really beautiful. They say that you've been given a gift, and it comes from, there aren't very many people in the family who have this special gift that you have. It's been passed down, but your gift is very much tied to theirs. And so they're just so excited for this this awakening that you are currently experiencing. And if you're not aware that you are experiencing an awakening, you are, and if you don't feel it, you will. Okay, so that is your message. Really, really short and sweet, but very powerful and very profound. You're very protected, and your ancestor is Mama Bear, making sure that you are all right. Hey, no one's gonna touch you. You're good. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to feeling your presence in the next video. All right, and number 3. Okay, number 3, here we go. So number 3, I'm going to shuffle your cards. As I shuffle the cards, I want you to think of your question relating to protection. Now, I may or may not answer it perfectly, but I will give you the information that you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. So let's pick out one card. And this is interesting. I'm going to take out 2 cards for you. For both piles, or crystals 1 and 2, I guess, I chose 1. But for you guys, I'm going to pick 2. And this guy wanted to come out before. Restraint and expansion. Isn't that so interesting? Like polar opposites here. Restraint and expansion. You are limiting yourself. You are feeling like you're not as powerful as you are. You have the ability to create great beauty around you or great chaos. It's your choice. It's your choice. Kind of like with Harry Potter, right? Where it could go either way. You have the ability to create great beauty or great chaos. Pretty intense. Pretty intense. Indeed. You're a great manifester. And so what happens a lot of times is your fears and your anxieties get the best of you. And you start to imagine the worst. And then when you start to imagine the worst, you might attract all kinds of things towards you. But Spirit is telling you that this is not the way. That, obsessing over psychic protection and being safe from harm is actually only going to exacerbate your problem. Sorry about that. Spirit is advising me that I should be more careful with my words. It's not a problem. I don't mean to offend. It's just a minor dilemma that you can easily fix. It's easier said than done, and I understand that. But the easier said than done thing about it is that because you're a great manifester and you manifest whatever you want, great beauty around you, you can flip this around. You can say, no, not restraint. I'm not limited. I don't need to rely on other people all the time for validation or advice or protection, etc. You can rely on your own deep knowing and intuition. Spirit is saying expansion in the sense of your potential is unlimited wherever you'd like to take it, given reason, of course, within reason. You eagle and deer and eagle, or goat. Okay. Eagle, goat, deer, beaver, fish. These are all some of your animal spirits. Sorry, I'm just looking at all the animals in her face, and I feel a strong pull to let you know that. Okay, especially the eagle. This is a big one for you. Look into the meaning of what eagle means as far as your spirit animal, because it might give you some clues as to who you are and your life path. All right, but you are someone who is, so this is where imagination is going to work so powerfully for you, but your spirit guides are saying write it down, because sometimes, yeah, that's what they're saying. Okay, sometimes you get into your head and then it's almost imagination works against you, because then you start to imagine the worst or really scary scenes, and then it overwhelms you. So instead of doing that, maybe it would be better for you to write things down in a very concrete way. Write your intentions, write what you want as protection. Write out some of your feelings to get it out off your chest. Just write these things down, and actually interesting for you, take kind of like a structured approach, right? Like a very structured, okay, first I do this, first I do that, then I do that. I would say even for this group, include rituals into your practice, because I think for you need to get out of your head so much. You need something physical to remind you to get out of your head and to focus and be present in the moment. So I would say pick a ritual that works for you. I'm going to recommend smudging. So if you buy a sage stick and you light the sage stick, you blow on the fire, because then you wave the smoke around your body and your space. I would, this is a Native American, First Nations a tactic for protection. I feel called to, again, I keep I keep bringing this thing out here. The evil eye. You might want to have something like the evil eye around you to keep that the evil kind of negative intent away. You might want to also, just pick up other symbols that are very important for you and have them around your home, on your body. I'm getting symbols are very important for you, symbols in particular, because they remind you to keep steady and ground. Keep steady and ground, right? Keep steady and ground, my friend. Candles, fire, the element of fire, okay? Be careful. I always have to say be careful with fire because fire, but lighting a candle, a different colored candle that you might associate with a certain form of protection, maybe white or even black. Some people say black is a very protective color, and just lighting that candle for protection. You need to do physical things, but you are capable with your imagination, if you wanted to create the protection, the beauty, the peace, the harmony that you crave. It's all in you. You just have to tap into it. And I have a feeling that actually as you go along and discover how intuitive and psychic you are in your journey, you're going to realize that you have the power and not these lower vibrational entities. These lower vibrational entities, if you think of them like sort of toxic people that are living, all right, they only have power when they find a way to put you down or manipulate you or make you feel like you are less than them. But at the end of the day, you know who you are and you can rise above just by understanding that this person is talking from a place of misery. A negative entity, whether alive or not, is also a very unhappy, lonely, miserable, empty, shallow entity living a meaningless existence. And they need you and your positivity to feed their souls because their souls are too lazy to work on, to take responsibility for their own stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? If anyone is taking advantage of you, then I would say that's just a lazy way of not putting in the hard work in developing and taking care of oneself, of themselves. So for you, understand your limitations. Of course, it's always important to know your limitations, but understand that you have the power to create incredible beauty around you, incredible peace, incredible harmony for yourself and others, and just your energy alone will act as a protective shield if you let it. Get into some certain rituals that you feel comfortable with, and breathe in, breathe out. Review some of the tactics in this video, create your own that makes sense to you, and you will be fine. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I look very forward to feeling your presence in the next video. See you guys later.